I'm pissed. I missed out on a collaboration between two things that I love, the clothing brand Braindead and the King of Monsters Godzilla. Last month, I was blindsided in seeing the streetwear clothing brand that I had been obsessed with for years and swore I put notifications on for, launched a limited edition Hedorah 9-inch tall figure that would have been an awesome addition to my growing Godzilla collection and the perfect standalone art piece. When I saw I missed this, I rushed to the place where everyone is willing to spend too much money on a scalped item goes. Ticketmaster, eBay, and to my shock and dismay, I was completely priced out of owning my very own beautiful Marusan Hedorah, or so I thought. Now another one of my passions might be able to save the day here. Maybe I could create my own Braindead Hedorah art toy. You see, I've been dabbling in 3D modeling and printing on an amazing Bamboo Labs P1S 3D printer that has made manufacturing almost anything at home possible. No, this is not an ad, but Bamboo Lab, my line is open. As you can see here, I have hours under my belt printing all things Godzilla and have even created custom figures before. You might be able to see where this is going. Can I create my own Braindead Hedorah figure to scale with similar materials from home? This will be a challenge considering I had never printed anything with a clear filament or anything I knew others beyond myself would see and judge the outcome of. The biggest challenges in making this figure will be the transparency and need for the Hedorah to be hollow on the inside to fit the pom-poms. Let's see how this goes. To start, I did some research on the dimensions of the toy and found the height to be 9 inches, which is perfect because my 3D printer has a max height of 10 inches. I want to print it all on one plate if possible, but we'll need to place an insert for the colorful pom-poms. Oh, about those pom-poms. I was able to find a cheap pack of 1,200 1cm pom-poms on Amazon for about $8. They need to be roughly the size of the ones in the official toy, and I tried to match the color variation to the best of my ability. At this point, I haven't seen them in person yet, so let's hope they work out. Now back to the toy modeling. I found this Hedorah 3D model on Cults that might work for this project. It's similar to the official Braindead piece, but has higher detail and was obviously not created with the intent of stuffing pom-poms in the 3D version of it. This mesh is actually a mess, and after working for hours on trying to get it to work, I scrapped the file and decided on giving up. Psych! I then spent the next 4 hours into the night sculpting a brand new model from the ground up in Nomad Sculpt. This turned out to be a great move because it allowed me to plan for the hollow center, and I was able to use the official figure's images as references to get the proportions down almost perfectly. I even sculpted in a place for the Ionic looking eyes. Don't Google that. After researching the best way to hollow out the model, I came to the conclusion I would be exporting Hedorah to Blender to finish up the sculpt and get the hollowness that we are looking for. I followed some YouTube tutorials on the best process to hollow using the displace modifier, and after screwing up at least 7 times, I finally got the model that might make Marusan start filing copyright claims. I'm just kidding. Please don't sue me, Marusan. This model will not be released to the public and is for personal use only. When this step was complete, I popped open my intimidating, conveniently stored for a year and never used olive translucent Bamboo Labs PETG filament and popped it into my AMS hub. Now it was time to get the Bamboo Lab slicer open to figure out how I would make a spot to cram pom-poms into Hedorah's massive cranium. I settled for an easy cut in the slicer that would give me room for the pom-poms in both the body and head, and I chose a spot that I thought would give me the least noticeable seam. Yes, we decapitated Hedorah, but it was for a good cause. After this, I followed some more online tutorials on the best practices for transparent PETG filament because apparently it's incredibly finicky, and if not printed right, can either cause opaqueness or a giant spaghetti monster to print instead of the monster we're looking for, who happens to also resemble a bowl of Italian noodles. At this point, I had not seen the finished print yet, so let's hope that it all went smoothly to plan. The print will take around 36 hours, so if this fails, I will have lost a day and a half and my will to live entirely. Okay, so I'm noticing that the supports look very transparent, but the beginning of the head, which would also indicate how the rest would look, is really opaque. You can't really see anything on the other side. I'm happy that I caught this early, and I adjusted the layer height, line width, and changed the wall loops from 2 to 1, so fingers crossed we should get a better result now. I'm going to let this print complete and skip forward to the finished print. Okay, we are now like 12 to 15 hours into the print, and I must have done something wrong with the settings because I accidentally printed a paperweight with no hollowness on the bottom whatsoever. I never felt a 3D printed filament that is this heavy. Probably due to the 100% infill that took over the legs of Hedorah. So much time and filament wasted, but I blame myself for doing something wrong with the settings and not entirely understanding how thick to make the walls in Blender. It would be tragic if I can't get this figure to work, and I'm just a 30-year-old man that ordered colored pom-poms from Amazon with nothing to use them for. But I'm at my wit's end and I have no idea where to go from here. I think I figured out the problem. I followed steps for something much more simple than the Hedorah figure, and in doing that, I think I also had the walls too thick on the print and messed up a lot of the settings. Usually when I find Blender to be overcomplicating things, I switch to Nomad Sculpt, which is a much more novice-friendly 3D platform. So that's exactly what I did. I found a simple way to create a shell of the whole figure and printed that with interesting results. Okay, this looks great, but one big issue. The green filament doesn't look clear enough at all. You really can't see much. This is going to be a problem. I ordered some transparent filament with no tint and raised the heat of the extruder. And the results of this were, well, take a look for yourself. The print came out phenomenal in the first try. I love my P1S. I took the print from the dead and began stuffing Hedorah with pom-poms. I found that using this dry erase marker like a muzzle loader works like a charm. I made sure I got pom-poms all the way to the end of the limbs and tails so that the figure was looking just like the official one. Then I glued the body and head together with some super glue, and originally planned on painting in the eyes. I tested some out on a scrap piece of the print, and it wasn't looking right, so I decided to model new eyes that would fit onto the current print, and also 3D print those with multicolor filaments. Lucky for our budget, I had all of these filaments already, so it was as easy as loading it and hitting print. These came out incredible, looking just like the eyes on the Braindead figure. Now there's only one step left. Let's check this figure out and see how I did. It's not perfect, but it came out better than I could have ever imagined. I can't believe how transparent I was able to get the PETG and how much it actually looks like the official collab. For those wondering, the cost for all the materials for this project came out to a whopping $30. Not bad at all compared to the resale price I would have had to pay off eBay. I hope you enjoyed my first video, and if you did, hit that like button and subscribe for more cool projects like this one. Thanks for watching.